today we're going to talk about angles. We're going to talk about angles of the flute, and we're going to talk about angles in our body to figure out the most optimal way to hold the flute and for creating the most clear and concise tone, and for making things a little bit easier for holding the instrument as well. So the first angle I'm going to address is the angle of the head joint. You want to make sure that the head joint is lined up in the same place each time you play. A good place to start is to look down the keys of the flute to the embouchure hole and line up the embouchure hole with this first key. This is going to keep us in line, and it's going to make sure that we're consistently in the same place each time we play. If it's too far out, the lips are going to have to reach too far. If it's too far in, we're going to be only blowing directly into the hole and we're not going to get any projection at all. Angle number 2 is the up and down angle. This one is really important, and it's one that I see a lot of problems with. We want to make sure that the flute is in line with our lower lip while playing at all times. This allows the lips to move the air easily across and into the hole in the best possible directions. If the flute is too low, then we're going to get a weird angle with our lips and we're not going to get very good sound. Sometimes no sound. If it's the other way, this too far this way, you're going to have the same problem but in the opposite direction. So if it's just exactly in line with that lower lip, so much easier for our lips to get that air across the hole. So the up and down angle really important. The third angle is the forward and backward angle. And this one comes into play a lot in band rooms because of we have somebody who's sitting next to us who's also playing the flute, and our flute's sticking out the side of our head, and it tends to potentially hit the head of the person next to you. So to avoid that, a lot of students end up playing behind the head of the person next to them, and they end up playing kind of like this. So their body gets really twisted, and you also can't get a good angle over the hole here. One, it's not very good for getting good air support. Our body's twisted. We're not going to be able to get a lot of air coming in. And two, we just don't have the concise air over here. If we bring the flute forward, out is better than back. Out is definitely much clearer. You can hear how the sound is better. Also, I'm able to stand in a much more relaxed way, and I'm able to expand for really good breath control. So that forward-backward angle, also really important. Now we're going to talk about body angles, which is also a little bit tricky to try and figure out how we can stand and hold the flute in a really natural way that also allows for ease of air over the hole, also with ease of air coming from our good place of breathing. So you want to stand with your feet at shoulder width apart, about 45-degree angle to where your stand is. Then your flute is going to come up and be parallel to the stand. You can see that my body is all in line, which allows for expansion of breathing. It also allows for relaxed shoulders, relaxed arms, which means that we can move our fingers a whole lot faster too. Now, we also need to figure out how to recreate this while sitting down, because most of the time when we're playing in band, we're going to be sitting. So, if we just keep our feet in the same spot and sit down exactly in the same way, move our stand a little so we can still see the music. You can see how my back's in line, my feet are still at a 45-degree angle, and notice also my chair. Notice that the chair is kind of crooked compared to where, if we imagine a conductor is standing about right here. The chair should not be directly in front of the conductor, otherwise the flutists are going to end up twisting their bodies, and then all these angles are going to be are not going to line up in the right way. So chair about same angle as where your feet are, flute out, and if all of the flutist chairs are lined up in the same way, then you won't have the trouble of trying to play behind or in front of the flutist who's sitting next to you here, so that you can still have that outward angle and the upward angle this way. And still see the conductor. So that's all about flute angles and body angles, all trying to figure out how we can make them all come together so that we can play in a really relaxed and comfortable way.